checking out K45, it can actually take a shortcut directly there in Inverted. And there's various other changes to accommodate it as well. So, once they're starting off in Link's house, and we can see where they're already exiting into Dark World after picking up a bee in a bottle. It looks like GFE is trying to farm some bombs from the bushes here, and Frostbite's just heading straight over to Stumpy.
I really like GFE's use of the bee to kind of get some kills here. And GFE finding a red rupee, so he'll be able to access the arrow gamer, he'll be able to farm for money. And Frostbite finding bombs is kind of significant because they actually can access Hype Cave now.
Yeah, he's immediately taken the save and quit to take a quick shortcut over there. But yes, like you mentioned, the arrow game is pretty significant in the inverted mode because unlike a regular seed, your early game items are much more limited in inverted, and so if you have a pressing need for cash, the arrow game is your best source for that.
Yeah, indeed. Your resources are pretty restricted in an inverted seed. And we get a power glove and Hype Cave, so already with some amount of hype here.
Power glove, some red rupees, and a piece of heart. So pretty much your starter kit for inverted. GFE is already accessing this air game, and standing here right on the far right, he can pretty much shoot some exact arrows to hit all the targets pretty consistently. So he's going to play it one more time just to make sure he has the cash for the digging game and the treasure chest game in Village of Outcasts once he makes his way around there. Mr. Frostbite is immediately diving into Skull Woods. Now he's taking the fall here, probably to farm some bombs from the pots here. You can pick up two of the pots here to get 2 bombs, then kill yourself to get back to the entrance, and then farm some more bombs.
Yeah, we see both runners just kind of taking a break to kind of farm a little bit here. GFE just making sure that he has enough money for game and pod and anything else that he may have to access, and Frost is getting more bombs. You can never have enough bombs.
Oh, there's a nice early mirror coming up in Skull Woods for Frostbite. GV is having to do a lot of digs for this item, and it's just a piece of heart, but he does make back most of his money that he spent starting the game. So Frostbite done with Skullbirds for now, and he's got enough bombs to keep himself comfortable, so he's going to start looking through the Village of Outcasts now. So from the C-shaped house, we have just 20 rupees. Now, Frostbite hasn't done very much cash farming himself, so if he decides to go to the digging game from here, he's going to be short 20 rupees for that. I think it's quite likely he's just going to go into Fee Stand before thinking of going into the digging game though. Flippers in the brewery. And Jiffy is actually making a visit into Swan Palace, presumably just to check the hint in here.
And a delightfully non-specific one at that, just some caches somewhere.
Some cash from somebody. Love the fake hints. Looks like JFE's actually headed over to the Dark World shop here to, well, actually the Fortune Teller's hut. Or at least it would be the Fortune Teller's hut in Light World, but it is a shop in the Dark World, and he's actually picking up a blue potion, which is not something you often see runners pop into that shop to do.
No, that's actually kind of an intelligent play. He did I think, like a couple extra passes at the arrow game specifically for this. Inverted can force some really difficult boss fights on you from time to time, and having like that extra, like hit or two of damage that might really help out if in case the seed forces like a 3 heart blind fight or heaven forbid a 3 heart moth fight.
Frostbite has picked up the Ice Rod here in Thieves Town, but I don't believe the Ice Rod can actually harm Blind. Blind is one of those notorious bosses in Inverted where he could be doing it with very little health and a very limited offensive loadout. So picking up a blue potion for that is definitely probably could be quite useful if things get out of hand. Frostbite takes a death. I don't know if that was intentional or not. And GFE's also starting his trip into Skullwood. He's stocked up on bombs though, so he's not going to do any farming here. Yeah, it looks like Frostbite's just ducking out for now.
Yeah, I think Frost might be looking. He might be looking to chase the Flippers lead because the Flippers does open the east side of Dark World. So yeah, they may be checking the catfish and just trying to see if they can get maybe a weapon for blind or see if there's like anything else that they might be able to use over there.
GP's going to have to try and put the statue in place here with basically no means of fending up the Gibdos at all, so he's got to be careful. He can't take any damage, and if he gets grabbed by the Wallmaster, it's effectively the same thing. So he just managed to get it in place. For a moment there, I wondered if GFE was getting his bombs out just to get a magic pot from the next room by blowing up the wall, but I think he's just getting the bombs for the bomb jumps to the big chest. Frostbite now doing his ridiculously long digging game to get a piece of heart. JV actually taking the more orthodox route to get to the big chest here by falling down the pits and blowing up the wall and putting the switch. And he gets a lamp for his trouble, so something that Frostbite didn't actually go for.
Lamp is really interesting there, huh? One thing that inverted seeds will like to do is force an early Ognum dive on you. In case you didn't cover this in your intro, they replaced the Ognum Tower location or they replaced Ganon Tower. Ooh, map check. I probably should cover this first. So, looked like it was a green pennant on Swamp, red pennant in Skull Woods, which we could tell from the music, and it was a 5/6 in Piles of Darkness. And then everything else looked like normal crystals.
That was correct, yes.
But yeah, as I was saying, the Ganon's Tower location in the normal seed is replaced with Ognum's Tower, and the cape requirement is removed. So once these runners find a sword, they'll be able to access Ognum's Tower, and we might get some like really absurd Light World bunny travel seed here. So that might be interesting.
One of the peculiar quirks of the inverted seed is that you can pop into the cave there and you get put into the light world equivalent, and then you pop back out into the dark world again with the old man. So what GFP is probably going to do here is walk all the way up to the top of the mountain slowly, because the old man slows you down, pop over into the light world, and then return the old man to his regular cave. Whilst Frostbite is making use of those flippers to check out the eastern area. Now, because GFE has picked up the lamp, the parts of pod are also in logic here, namely the dark areas. You can, of course, get through those without the lamp, but it's quite a bit trickier, especially if you're on 3 hearts and only have an ice rod to fend off roaming Kodongos and such. Oh, I love that nest bunny sprite. I haven't seen the nest sprite too much in Randomizer, but it's actually the robot nest from the end of Earthbound. Just a small shield on top of the pyramid. Frostbite does decide to pick it up, and he's on his way to catfish now. So far, the seed is proving pretty stingy with heart containers. Could well be forcing our runners into further into the dungeons with still only 3 hearts.
Yeah, Inverter will do that to these people.
Just 20 rupees in Spectacle Rock. And a totally useless troll hint house, so not much here up on Death Mountain for GFE. And Catfish for Frostbite has another 20 rupees. Frostbite choosing to take the long walk back is probably going to be checking out the pod area from here. And GFE's nest bud is looking pretty green right now. So here we have one of the awful things in Inverted where you're trying to walk past the Lionels with green mail and 3 hearts. He does take a hit from the fireballs there, but it's not enough to finish him off. I believe hugging a Lionels would be enough to just kill him outright.
That is correct, but really nifty dodging from GFE, and we also can't ignore that Frostbite had some really great strats with the Ice Rod on his way to Catfish and from Catfish. Like using that Ice Rod to freeze enemies and use those enemies to kind of defeat the other enemies. Just, yeah, really solid stuff from both runners, and didn't see the other chest in Super Bunny Cave, I don't think.
I didn't see it either. A bit of a stream lag there. Just have to see if there's anything on GFE's menu when we next see it. Frostbite paying the 100 rupees to get into pod, and I imagine GFE's going to go into Thieves Town from here. It's looking like dungeon dives are our destiny today, with very few little safeties for it, so execution's going to have to be on point here.
Yeah, indeed, especially for Frostbite, who I would imagine with the potion is going to be going into the Dark Crimson pod, which may be in logic depending on the key layout here. Yeah, so it's going to be so we're going to be able to see how he handles the swordless pod Dark Maze, which is really no walk in the park.
Yeah, I have no idea if the Kodongas could actually be frozen with the Ice Rod. It stands to reason they could be, because they're fire-breathing monsters, so... and you know, fire is weak to ice sometimes. Ice is also sometimes weak to fire. Elemental stuff in games is weird like that. Most of the keys in the front of pod so far for Frostbite, which is fairly typical for Paths of Darkness, tend to be keys in the front, party in the back. And rather than using that potion to glitch his way into the arrow-locked, bow-lock side of pod, he's like, Frostbite's actually continuing into the front portion here. So far, Frostbite, he cleaned out the first 4 chests in Town, and he got his ice fell that way, and he didn't get the lamp from Skullwood, so we have to see if GFE decides to continue further into Town and possibly get some more items that Frostbite has so far missed out on. And yeah, it looks like GFE is going for it. Ooh, there's a fighter soul just before the harmless hellray import. That's going to come in extremely useful immediately.
Yeah, that's right. With the sparkles from the fighter sword, Frostbite now has a visual guide for his traverses through these dark areas. So yeah, that's super handy to get right in there.
Don't need to worry about it whether the ice sword works on the Kodonkas or not now, either.
Oh, and Frostbite didn't have a key for Dark Maze, so I guess that is going to be bolt locked by the logic, which is fairly interesting. So yeah, no choice but to nope out of there, having that potion glitched.
I guess he wasn't feeling too confident for doing a hammer jump over the gap as well, something you typically see in key sanities. He only really had one shot at it, though. If he failed the hammer jump the first time, then he wouldn't have enough health to try it a second time. So instead, he's just going back to what he knows is in logic right now. For him, it's going to be another trip into Thieves' Town. These Zazaks and the Maiden Cell proving a bit troublesome for GFE.
Oh, and it looks like the blue cane was actually the item on Super Bunny Cave.
Well, that's going to help GFE a lot here with Blind coming up, right? Actually, it's probably the best possible item we could have for Blind right now, considering we're still only on 3 hearts.
Yeah, and as far as GFE knows, this is in logic. That small key in the Maiden's chest means that Blind is now blocked, and with the blue potion, you can actually kill Blind, so... Or the blind kill is in logic here, so yeah, this is a super interesting seed right now.
I saw in the race notes that this being April Fool's Day, they wanted a good Blind joke, but nah. Blind never has good jokes.
Yeah, I think the light bulb one that I think I saw that's been around since like the randomizer.
That's kind of an ironic drop from Blind, half magic. Anyway, first crystal for GFE. So nothing much that's going to progress GFE through the seeds so far compared to what Frostbite has yet. He's going to go in for a bit more cash farming for.
This is the most I've heard the Aero game song in the Seed in, like ever, and I'm very here.
Something I've never tried in inverted is if it's actually possible to pay off King Zora in bunny form.
No, I don't actually think that you're able to get to Zora as a bunny because you need to like either be able to swim or lift a rock, neither which you can do without the move.
Right, but GFE can use the mirror to get over to his area from the catfish location.
Well, no, because the mirror only works in a light.
Oh yeah, I'm going backwards again.
Inverted does that.
Yeah. And after so carefully explained it at the beginning of the race too.
Oh, and just something I quickly observed looking at Frostbite's item menu, they got map and compass in Thieves Town, so that means that there is an item locked in the big chest, which is locked by hammer, so hopefully they don't have to come.
Yeah, it's always nasty to leave an item behind in Thieves Town, but quite often it's necessary to do so, especially in an inverted way. You're so often forced to do Thieves Town early. Frostbite takes a couple of hits here and dips into his blue potion to restore his health, as opposed to his magic, so kind of going about blind in the same sort of methodology, but with a slightly different means. So Frostbite also gets his first crystal and half magic. This hopping creature outside the Dark World magic shop is getting in GFE's way. Frostbite's heading back into Skullwood, so he's probably going to pick up his lamp here, and then be thinking possibly going back into Pod and using a potion to glitch over to the other side, but it's looking like the logic right now is going to be sending a runners up to Aga Tower. Ooh, Frostbite takes a death, and he's going to have to return.
Yeah, and that's especially frustrating because they have to go up. That's basically their last location at this point, and you know, it's understandable. You see a lot of runners kind of like last location, that vanilla big key chest location, just because like it's so difficult to do if you're not equipped for it. But yeah, he's gonna have to go all the way back there, get that big key, go all the way to the big chest, and find that lamp, and he'll kind of have a sense of what's up because I'm pretty sure this is an Aghanim seed at this point. Like, there's no other thing that we can find here.
Yeah, we've seen GFE clear out Death Mountain, and there was nothing there apart from the Cane of Burner in Super Bunny Cave. So, yeah, I think Agatha is our only direction at this point to go to progress further. Of course, GFE hasn't done Pod yet, and Frostbite needs to get his lamp from here and then go up to Death Mountain himself. Ooh, that Gipter nearly got behind Frostbite there to give him some trouble, but just manages to get blocked. Now, GFE doesn't have a spare potion because he already used it on blind and has bought a new one, so no potion glitching to the bowlog side for GFE. So that's still going to remain a mystery. So Frostbite picks up his lamp, and GFE going to get his sword from outside Harmless Highway fairly shortly, which will be the means to allow him to ascend Aga Tower and finish off Aga. And it looks like Frostbite's going to be heading over to Death Mountain now. It's hard to say who is ahead right now, because whilst it may look like Frostbite's going to get into the tower first, he still has to pick up the old man and return him to the cave. Once GFE gets his sword, he can save and crit directly to the cave. So it's hard to say who's in front right now, but it's definitely looking like linear progression so far. Could have skipped Feast Town and Blind for later, but the half magic is useful at least.
Yeah, they'll at least be able to use that Cane of Burna if they so choose. Alright, the turtle's blocking that sword, and GFE's just like, yeah, I'll come back for that later. You guys just do whatever you want with that.
GFE's really going out of his way to stock up on cash. I think he wants to check out Zora as soon as possible. The Plague Knight sprite is a... it's difficult to pronounce. I think it's like a combination of a trout, a fish, and an apple. I think they call it a truple in Shovel Knight.
Yeah, triple sounds about right.
GFE going for a hammer jump here. Gets in one try for a piece of art. Oh, and a extra heart container. That's going to come in extremely useful. So 2 more chests that GFE can check out here. Not quite in logic, but you know, bonus is a bonus. And 1 more piece of heart. But the extra heart container is going to be extremely useful for now.
Yeah. And especially since like everything in Castle Tower is going to be able to do 1 heart of damage. It's GFE and Frostbite, they have a rough go ahead of them right now.
Both of them save and critting to the Dark Mountain, so GFE's slightly ahead of Frostbite here. I don't think Frostbite has been to Super Bunny Cave yet, because obviously he doesn't have his Cane of Burner, so I reckon Frostbite's going to head over there before doing the tower. So yeah, GFE probably has about a minute's lead here. So that Ice Sword and Half Magic is actually going to come in quite useful here in Aga Tower. So those Gold Guards actually immune to the Ice Rod.
Yeah, Gold Guards are immune to the Ice Rod. That's a lesson I've had to learn the hard way too.
It's just one of those things you never really see, except for edge cases like this. So often you see a runner go into the Aga Tower with a Fire Rod, and it's just like incinerating the guards in 1 hit.
Oh, and it looks like Frost is heading back up the mountain. They may have taken a death to the Lionels, maybe. Yeah, we'll see if they try to go back for that, or if they just make a call that the Moon Pearl is somewhere locked in Light World, and they're they're going to go back for that.
Yeah, he took a death to the Lionel, so this is letting GFE get a little bit further ahead the more time Frostbite spends here. Looks like he gets past this time, though.
So let's discuss some of the places that the Moon Pearl could have wound up. So there are a couple of places that are like in logic without the mirror. basically they can talk to people. So the sick kid and the bottle vendor are currently in logic. With the mirror, we can access the smith sequence, so we can rescue the frog, bring him back home. We can get to hammer pigs and purple chests through the dark world, and we also have access to the mire area, which is currently just the mire shed and those two chests at this point. But yeah, there are a couple limited options, and yeah.
Intel coming in not very useful again there. A unique item is in the Dark Village. That would be the flippers, actually. So Frostbite heading into a tower now. Just -1 heart container because Frostbite didn't take the hammer jump in Palace of Darkness to get a couple of extra pieces of heart. Oof, GFE just walked into pit there. Just using the cane to get past this last scout. Alright, 31 minutes in, we have our first Aghanim 1. Completely mandatory, unfortunately, so how many blue balls do you think we're going to get?
Statistically, it's usually 3, but I'm hoping for, let's get a good 5, maybe.
Yeah, I'm going to be pessimistic and say 5 too. I think Aga's feeling in a bad mood today. So there's the mandatory first cast, which is always going to be a regular projectile. And there's the first blue ball. Two blue balls. Now comes a mandatory lightning. Then there's going to be a regular spell after this. Frostbite also trying to use the Ice Rod against the Red Guardian, having no luck at all.
It's one of those things where you don't know until you try.
That's 3. 3 blue balls. And since the next cast is a mandatory spell, it's going to be 3 blue balls.
And now we get Light World Bunny Travel. Hooray. Oh, and GFE. So they actually may be doing something called a Bunny Revival glitch in here. Yeah, they're going to be taking some intentional damage from this blue guard so that they can check out these chests and escape. And it's definitely an interesting play, and I'm trying to think of the way to phrase how this works. But yeah, basically they are going to take this death and they revive in the dungeon as just a standard, Nest form, because you can't get into any of the dungeons when you are a bunny, so when the game revives you, it just, assumes that you're good to go and you have, whatever you need to get through. So, yeah, he's going to be able to make these checks here with that sequence break.
Frostbite also Aga throws an Ice Rod shot at him for good measure, because why not? Freeze the Wizard. Ooh, a nice hook shot there in the Vanilla Boomerang chest. Well, no, not the Vanilla Boomerang. I think that's a small key chest, but...
Yeah, that sequence break paying off huge. That hook shot, not in logic, but definitely going to be something you want to have.
If GFE gets another small key down here in Zelda's chest, or finds one in Dark Cross from here, he's going to be able to proceed into the back of Escape as well. But I think from here he would be checking out to the Dark Cross anyway. I've seen that before. Instead of just picking up a pot for the ball and chain guard, just freeze a garden for him at the ball and chain guard instead. Love it.
Yep, it is legitimately the best strat in the game. I love it so much.
Frostbite doing the exact same thing as GFE, using a death to reset his bunny status and going into the escape portion. Alright, so GFE needs a key from his chest if he wants to continue. Of course, if he finds something really nice like the bow or moon pearl, or, well, the can't pearl because this isn't quite in logic, but if you find something nice down here, it'd be worth it anyway. And it's just a piece of heart. Okay, so our last pendant is Tower of Hera, and the other 5/6 crystal is Desert Palace. Eastern Palace being a regular crystal.
And GFE currently showing off the best part of inverted Aga 1 seeds. Light World Travel as a bunny. You get to have all these red cards chasing after you. Able to dodge them all, but yeah, it can get really mean pretty quickly.
Deja vu here, we're getting some more guard toss action on Frostbite side. Just a piece of heart from the bottle fender, but that puts GFE at 5 hearts, so hey, better than nothing. Really stingy for full heart containers so far this seed. It's only been pieces of heart. And that's interesting. To the left of the library there, I noticed the bushes are missing. It's normally sitting there.
And seeds like this would kind of be why they made that change in the world map. Basically, they want to make the frog as accessible as possible with the mirror, and like if you have the normal layout with the bushes, it's just like almost impossible to like get that location. So yeah, just a minor update that kind of makes a difference.
I figured as much. I've just never really noticed it before. But that was actually our first full heart container sitting there on the library shelf. Don't think runners will be going for that unless they're really desperate for. Oh, and that's a moon pearl from the blacksmiths.
All right, so that was pretty quick. So yeah, now GFE is probably just going to make the rest of the Kakariko check since you're in the area, and hey, you got the Moon Pearl now. Hooray!
Looks like Frostbite's heading in this same direction and probably going to pick up his moon pearl shortly, just coming from the K45 direction. Sees a red boomerang in there, and he's just passing it by.
Looks like GFE picked up Blue Mail. I guess the reward for seed well traveled.
₹50 and an angry guard at the race game. Frostbite picks up his own blacksmith, so he's going to be getting his moon pearl shortly. And a bug net in a well, but we already killed Agger, so it's of little consequence, unfortunately. So Blind's Heart coming up here. We already killed him, may as well steal his last belongings. There's a Quake medallion. Kakuk are pretty dry on items actually, just the Quake medallion and blue mail.
Yeah, only item of real significance or real immediate significance is going to be that moon pearl that we got from the blacksmiths. Yeah, now we have, it's kind of this way with invertices. You find that moon pearl, and all of a sudden the world is just like, you got a lot of options now. We can get to the South Shore. We can go to Lost Woods as GFE is checking. We can do the Zora area, Eastern area. There's all sorts of goodies.
Yeah, it looks like Frostbite's going to commit to the overworld here because he already picked up the purple chest. Probably going to be taking it on a bit of a tour. Piece of heart in the mushroom spots, and that was a piece of heart down in the thieves' hideout. So, still stingy on the heart containers this seed. It's all been pieces of heart so far. So GFE taking a look at Lumberjack Lead because we already killed Aga. It's 20 rupees, so we're not going to be needing the boots for that. Now, if GFE is committing to Overworld, like both our runs are probably going to do, he has got the cash for Zora since he did so much farming earlier. So checking out the graveyard ledge here, just walk up the ladder to get to the cave in Fetterbird because you can't actually use a magic mirror to access it like you would in a normal randomizer or vanilla Link to the Past game. And if JP's checking out the last few items in Escape, I think he's going to get a small key here, and I think he already picked up the map, so potentially 2 more items here. So there's a key, piece of heart, and bombs. I think GFE's picked up 3 solid heart containers just from pieces of heart so far.
Yeah, Stingy with the full hearts, lots of pieces of heart, and from the menu screen that GFE had there, it looks like the map is actually in the Sanctuary chest, so if GFE's been keeping track, they'll be able to just walk past this chest that they're about to come up on.
Okay. Yeah, he double-checked his inventory there, saw no map, and is skipping a chest. Oh, and there's our first full heart container from the purple chest. So Frostbite checking out Agina pretty early, at least comparatively early considering when we got into the light world. And GFE also going for the purple chest. Oh, there's the boots. Agino is actually hiding in the boots this scene.
Yeah, definitely a quality item to find. Because Inverted works the way that it does with the mirror, that's typically how we get access to the Mire area. So the flute is typically like never found. Like it's either in GT or it's just like somewhere dumb that we don't care about. So having the boots for to make the travel a little bit faster, that's really super helpful.
Frostbite takes the time to pick up another bee in a bottle, presumably so he can put something more useful in there later. $20 rupees on the desert lead, and we need bombers to get in Misery Mire today. Nice master swords in the Maya shed, so things are finally starting to look a little bit better for our runners here.
Yeah, slowly but surely building up those resources.
DV is back on a dark mountain. Frostbite is back on a dark mountain. Wonder where he's going to go for. Yeah, it looks like he's going to access the east side of Light Death Mountain using that hook shot. So GFE doing the same things that Frostbite has just done just about a minute ago. So also deciding to pick up the bottle, but unlike Frostbite, GFE also went out to get the red boomerang. So he'll get his master sword in a very shortly. Paddock's cave has enough heart container. It had to start turning up at some point. And there's our bombers.
Alright, so we can at least get into Mire now. We can't actually clear it out without the Cane of Samaria, but hey, it's better to have that than not.
Another heart container on the floating island.
And meanwhile, GFE opting to stay in Light World, maybe waiting for Hammer before they go up to Death Mountain so that they can check on, so that they can actually go to Tower of Hera, or maybe a couple of items for the inevitable Turtle Rock check. But yeah, they're heading into Dam, and they can also check one chest in Swamp Palace if they so choose. That'd be fun.
Yeah, that one chest in Swamp Palace could potentially be the hammer. I've seen it happen once before. It's probably the meanest thing that could ever possibly be there, but it's possible.
Oh, and GFE making the play. Meanwhile, Frostbite is using that mirror to check our old friend the Laser Bridge.
There's a hammer, and Frostbite ain't too happy with that hammer location.
Understandable. That is a very silly place for that hammer to end up.
Yeah, so GFE is continuing to check out to do his south Hyrule checks here. I imagine he's probably going to be headed up the mountain pretty shortly too. But Frostbite's routing has been slightly different in the Dark World, and what is that? Bo and Silverhouse right next to each other in Mini Moldorm. That's what? Fireward? Are you serious, game?
Okay, so a lot just happened right there. That's all I can say. That, like, I'm kind of speechless. That is, yeah, we got hammer on one side, we got all the other progression on the other. Oh man. Oh, but with that hammer, Frostbite is... They're in a very good position right now. They'll be able to clear out Swamp Palace, check Mini Moldorm Cave on the way over, and then maybe hop into Ice Palace if they so choose. Meanwhile, GFE making the rarely seen play into the Dark World Shopping Mall hint tile and finding... they'll be able to check Ice Rock Cave. And just for a second shield upgrade in Ice Rock Cave. GFE staying in Light World. Oh, and so they're going to be equipping the water walk here to just give them like a slightly faster travel going through these Lake Hylia checks.
Yeah, strictly unnecessary because he's got the flippers, but it's faster, so why not?
No, gotta go fast. Oh, is that a tempered sword over on the island?
It looked like 20 rupees to me, but I'm really not sure. Could have been tempered sword, actually.
Yeah, it makes sense not to grab it because if you had grabbed it at that moment, you would have lost the water walk and then it would have to do the slow swimming over to Hobo. So, yeah, we'll get confirmation if that was trash or not as GFE swims.
I think Frostbite's going to get there first.
You know, fair assumption.
Yeah, it was tempered. So chat was wondering if GFE might get baited into Ice Palace here, and it looks like he is indeed getting baited into Ice Palace without the hammer. Ooh, this is going to be bad for him.
It's fine, it's fine. He's just checking the hint. It's fine, don't worry about it.
We didn't have plenty of sources of fire, and we might have needed to check out the basement chest, but it's just a compass. Oh, nice blue potion.
And GFE even leaving the fairy bee friend as a companion. That's nice. It probably gets lonely for that fairy in that cave.
Ooh, that's a magic cape on the Zora ledger.
Yeah, that is a thing that's there. That might be our unique item in plain sight hint coming to fruit, but yeah, we didn't see anything on the ledge, so not really that useful. And hey, either might as well grab it, fill up that item menu.
Yeah, that covers all of the medallion needs for any of the dungeons, so you typically don't need the medallion to complete Turtle Rock. So GFE's still doing more overall checks that Frostbite hasn't done yet, but we know he gotta get to Turtle Rock to pick up that hammer at some point. Vicky is firelocked in Mizumaya. So nothing much popping up in Ice Palace for Frostbite so far, but it is a crystal dungeon, so may as well. And yeah, it looks like GFE is going to go up to Turtle Rock now. Right, at least the east side of Death Mountain, but I didn't see if Frostbite actually picked up a small key on Laser Bridge there, but if he did, then could potentially finish off Chinex.
It would still need the red cane in order to get to Trinex, because you do still have that like kind of long bridge ride to take.
Oh yes, true. Still got that one bridge. I mean, you can hover across it, but yeah.
In theory, we can hover across that, yes. Sadly, I think the wrong Spear Affinity team member is playing today for that.
So GFE now has a full loadout of medallions. And there's 3 bombs in Ice Tea Room in Ice Palace.
And I believe that's going to be everything. And looks like B-Train was taking a second to decide between Battle Cave and Laser Bridge, but yeah, opting for Hookshot Cave first.
And third boss of this seed coming up here on Frostbite side, compared to doing 3 heart or / 4 heart blind earlier, this is going to be a fair bit easier now. Got half magic and tempered sword to make Cold Stare pretty easy. So the Cold Stare puffballs get loose from the corner, but Frostbite is just finishing them off with some firewall snipes, and that's a very quick boss kill for him. GFE gets his hammer. And GFE's going back up the mountain again. I'm guessing he's going to head over to Tower of Hera.
And it looks like they're going to be making the drop down to Mimic Cave. And yeah, Tower of Hera does make a little bit of sense, but it is a pendant, so it may not be required. I'm just now noticing that our Terrell has noted on the on-screen track.
Single green rupee in Mimic Cave. Right, and GFE's going to dip a little bit further into Turtle Rock from here. Ooh, nice boots clip there. So vanilla big key chest is just another small key. Still a few more items for GFE to check out here though. GFE has a lot more health and blue mail now compared to what he had earlier.
Wow,
Still got a bit of cap around these chain chomps. Oh, well, I guess we can finish the dungeon now.
That is a significant find for GFE. Frostbite, oh man, I don't know when they're going to be getting back to Turtle Rock.
Honestly, that's like the inverted version of finding the ice rod on the laser bridge.
Yeah, kinda. That does make sense, but yeah, Frostbite opted to save and quit, going back to Light World to make all these techs, and they are going to be making progress in the meantime, being able to clear out Eastern, being able to go back into Pod, but man, they can go into Swamp, they can go into Mire. I'm not sure when they're going to be getting back here, and oh hey, the boots in. That's valuable at this moment.
Yeah, and on Frostbite's side, he just picked up the Titan Smiths from the first chest in Easton.
Yeah, Tinesmiths in this mode not required at this point unless there's something in King's Tomb, which is the only location that's locked by the Tinesmiths at this point. But yep, that certainly is a thing that we.
Yeah, the Titan Smiths and fruits are far less useful in this mode compared to the regular seeds. But you know, if there's something important in King's Tomb, then it could be useful, although given GFE's items right now, I don't think it could be anything useful at all, actually. In fact, looking at GFE's items right now, is he in go mode?
We still need the book for Desert Palace access.
Ah, yes, true, the book, right.
But it looks like Frost just got a hint that the book requires a green pendant.
Ooh, Pendant Swamp. Well, at least Eastern Palace is a crystal, so GFE will be getting that hint at some point, but hey, Pendant Swamp clear. Lovely.
Hooray, everyone's favorite. Though at least you'd be able to go mode it. That's kind of a saving grace.
Really depends on when Frostbite decides to go there. If he's going there without the cane, then he could be clearing it all out to try and find the cane. He could be wasting time in left side swamp to find something that's is obviously not there, so...
Yeah, Frost is definitely going to be going to the swamp after this, I'd imagine, and yeah, that may be drawing them further away from Turtle.
So as you mentioned, the book is absolutely necessary to get in Desert Palace. So in regular seeds, of course, the boots is now a guaranteed hint somewhere in the world. You always find a hint tile that will tell you where the boots is in the world, but is that for the book in inverted? Is that also a guaranteed hint, or is that just could be a case of scouring the entire world for it with no knowledge of where it could be?
I don't believe that there's like a specific book hint for inverted. I think in a lot of seeds, you just have to hope that you come across it eventually. Especially since book isn't required to beat all the seeds. Like book only, like if Desert Palace is a pendant, then you just don't need the book at all unless there's something in DP or on a pendant. But yeah, with the boots hint, like the boots just kind of make the game fun, so you kind of see people fishing around for those a lot.
So, quite unexpectedly for GFE, he's able to finish off Turtle Rock here. So he's behind a dungeon with Frostbite right now, because Frostbite has obviously finished off Eastern Palace and Ice Palace. But considering he knows where the cane is, and GFE could well be headed over to Eastern at some point because he's got the means to clear it, he could well be in go mode very shortly. But it looks like he's going to spend some time in Tower of Hera first.
Oh no, going to Spike
not.
Cave.
Yep, Spike Cave.
Oh well, third shield is there. That's nice.
So GFE's headed over to the eastern area now, so it's looking likely he's going to get that book hint very shortly. I could be spending some extra time in pod, of course. Both our runners went into pod much earlier and cleared out a bunch of it, trying to find the items they need to avoid doing Aga, but wasn't the case. Aga was necessary.
Yeah, definitely had to grab that sword first to, complete the game. But yeah, GFE might get into no mode short.
So GFE gets his Titans, and Frostbite taking on Helmasaur. Just gotta smack his mask a lot of times for hammer, and then one silver arrow should finish him off. Another bee in a bottle for dropping from Helmasaur. I think that's our third bee in a bottle. And the fourth model was just a fairy in a bottle instead to buck the trend.
No, it's a relatable seed. Bees are nice. And I think a couple of them were good. Were they all good bees too? The golden bees?
Two of them definitely were. I don't know about the third yet. The Bokomotor requires a green pendant, and that effectively puts a GFE in go mode, because he knows where all the items he needs to finish his seed are now.
Yeah, the link to the fast randomizer hint system at work for you there. The first, 6 or 7 hints are all jokes or non-specific, and then the one that you need for go mode is when you're looking for your go mode item. Convenient for GFE, but kind of going to lead Frostbite down the goose chase.
Yeah, I think leaving that cane behind in Frostbite in Turtle Rock is really going to cost Frostbite here. It's kind of been his methodology for clearing out the seed so far, because we saw him dip into Skullwoods before GFE. He got a few items from Skullwoods, but he didn't get everything he could get from there, and so he left the lamp behind in the big chest, and GFE got that earlier. The lamp didn't matter so much, but Frostbite also went into Turtle Rock, got a couple of items from there, didn't check out all the items, and has missed out on that cane. So just leaving those chests behind has cost Frostbite here, unfortunately. Frostbite's going to go back and do a bit more overall checks here.
I do like this routing from Frostbite. Having the patience to kind of save this Lost Woods check for when they got the boot, so that they could check this kind of in tandem with the Lumberjack Ledge and also the Punk Rocks and King's Tomb. That's really solid.
And he's going to dive right into that cave and check and grab the item immediately, which is just 20 rupees, if I remember correctly. So I don't think we saw King's Tomb on GFE side, so this is going to be a new item, but unfortunately not going to be anything particularly useful at this point. And it's just 50 rupees. So there is GFE's fourth crystal, which ties him on crystal count with Frostbite, though he still has Ice Palace to do, which Frostbite already has done. But he's probably going to either head over to Ice Palace and finish it off now, or head over to Swamp and get his book to properly put himself in go mode. Go mode is on the horizon for GFE. That is his plan right now.
Indeed, just a Swamp Palace away, which, you know, it's kind of like a, you know, good news, bad news thing. Good news, hey, you get to go mode Swamp. Bad news, it's green pendant.
And Frostbite now doing a bit more of the overall checks that GFE already done. But Frostbite has skipped a few things. It's just kind of like GFE has been a bit more consistent with clearing out as much as he possibly can, and that's what allowed him to get that cane of Samaya from Turtle Rock.
Yeah, and Frostbite's call to dip out of Turtle Rock, that was fairly understandable. Like, there's 2 checks in Turtle Rock, and they're both very hard to get to. Meanwhile, you have, you know, full clearable Ice Palace, you have full clearable Eastern Palace pods available to you. In a pinch, you can go to Swamp Palace, as he just told you to do. Like, it made sense to prioritize the volume of checks down there, as opposed to, like, the, you know, 2 checks in Turtle Rock, and, like, that Cane of Samara was in the last chest that it could possibly be in Turtle Rock, but GFE just being really efficient at kind of looking like that won the race for him.
So Frostbite is also making his way into Swamp here, but he could be checking out the left side, he could be checking out extra chests that GFE will skip. Could be spending a lot more time in here.
Yeah, it's kind of unfortunate, you know, but, you know, both of these are very highly skilled runners. It's just, you know, one player made a call, and that's going to give them, you know, that's giving them a pretty sizable advantage. But, you know, like I said, these are both very talented runners. So if you haven't already, hit that exclamation point R in the chat. Give these runners a follow. They are working very hard on these runs. They play this game a whole ton for you, and, you know, working hard for your entertainment. So yeah, quality Twitch follows.
GFE not bothering with any more chests in here at all. Like the start of the seat, he's come out with a lot more health for Blue Mirror and the Tempered Silver, plus Silver as a bonus. He's pretty much set. So Argus here for GFE, but it's probably going to be a bit more time until Frostbite gets here himself. Green 300 rupees from Argus and a green pendant, but we're going to be able to hand that in and get the book. So Frostbite also headed into the basement. He's probably going to be checking out the 2 chests to the south here because he's still looking for things like the cane. But he's not going to get it here. Instead, he's going to get 3 bombs and a big key. Alright, at 1 hour 20 minutes, GFE is officially in go mode. Technically, he's been in go mode for a while, he just didn't have the items yet. Now he has.
Yeah, the official go mode call. There we go. And watching GFE have to Randomizer, that I just missed the flute on everyone's behalf in this race. Flutes, I miss fast travel.
The flute doesn't even get you in the light world. You have to activate in the light world, but it only moves around in the dark world. So at this point, getting it and having to activate it and then fly around really doesn't save you that much time. So yeah. So aside from a admittedly really tough early game with limited health, which both of our runners were able to deal with absolutely fantastically, the seed has been fairly kind on our runners, I'd say. After getting through Aghanim, it basically a bunch of safeties and other stuff was pretty much opened up to runners almost straight away.
Yeah, definitely. Seed was a. I mean, you don't want to call a Seed with a hammer on Laser Bridge too generous, but yeah, Seed was kind of friendly with the bow and the fire rod over there in Mini Moldarm Cave, and yeah, sorry, I've lost the words there, but yeah, this is a very interesting inverted Seed, and you kind of wanted a maybe a little more convoluted path to the Moon Pearl, but no, we'll settle for Moon Pearl on Lumberjack.
GFE getting a bunch of small keys here. Now, we did get a hint earlier, as chat points out, that there was a hint early in the game that said that the big key was fire locked in Mizumaya, so I reckon GFE is going to be heading over there straight away. Taking the time to check out that extra chest there.
Yeah, I think we had another chat member point out that Frostbite was the one that got that hit.
Ah, right. So Frostbite checking out the bomber's tablet gets a red mail from the skies.
Nice to have, but maybe not the red item Frostbite would have wanted.
Yeah, it's a wrong red item. So luckily for Frostbite, Desert Palace isn't really in a dungeon that takes too much time checking out the items in here, and then when he goes into, well, he could go into Mizumaya to check out some fat for the cane, and considering where the big key is, it doesn't really cost him too much time either. It would be the chests on the right side, such as the big chest, which could cost him about like half a minute or so, but it's not that big for him. But really, it's all a matter of when he decides to go back into Turtle Rock. That could be a very long time yet, unfortunately for him. Meanwhile, whilst I was talking, Jiffy, in a blink and you miss it moment, takes out Vitreous. But I'm not quite sure how Vitreous can blink. He's kind of got he's lots of eyeballs, but he doesn't have any eyelids.
Yeah, those are going to be. I mean, at least they're in that fluid. But I think if I remember the definition correctly, it's actually called vitreous. But yeah, luckily that fluid's there. Otherwise, they'd just be extremely dry. And also, shout out to Vitreous for dropping the arrow refill. That's pretty convenient for GFV, having only the 2 arrows.
Yeah, put some sticks into Vitreous and he gives you some sticks back.
I think you just collected them after you killed Vitreous. Like, just pick them up, clean them off. They're fine now. It's okay. Ganon won't know they're used.
So GFV's just got to find the big key here, and then he will be headed into the back. So I do wonder if Frostbite is going to head back to Turtle Rock, actually. He's about to finish Desert Palace here, and then he's probably going to dip into mire and clean out as much of it as he can before having to leave. So he'll be checking out the right side chests and spending about half a minute doing so. But what else has he got to do on Overworld that he hasn't done yet?
I don't think we saw Zora go to the Zora area. So he still has that outstanding. I know he abandoned one item in Swamp, but that's just going to be dead last location, like no matter what for him. There's the big key chest in Thieves Town is kind of outstanding. Tower of Hera is a thing, but yeah, there's hopefully Tower of Hera comes next because you're kind of running out of tech soon, and maybe you're thinking blind ped pole at this point, but yeah, it's hard to see when they go back.
You could also check out the Pyramid Ferry, which would cost him a few minutes as well. Ooh, nice Lammerlus kill there. Actually, I didn't even see GFE hit the last Lammerlus with stuff, but it died anyway. So GFE just has to pop over and clear Ice Palace now. It's considering he's in go mode, it's going to be a fairly pleasant journey for him.
Yeah, given that inverted can sometimes force, like a very low health fighter or Vitreous fight on you, you're going to be thankful for every time you get to go in there with like Bombos and Half Magic and Tempered Sword and all these things that GFE has.
So GFE gets his big key and is actually not going to check out the cutscene room just yet. He does have one chest up here to do first. It looks like Frostbite is actually going to do the right side first before checking out the cutscene. So it picks up the compass and a small key. And he actually saves and crits out, so interesting.
Yeah, definitely an interesting call. I know I've heard something that I know in previous versions of the randomizer that if either Firelock test has a big key, the other one has to have a small key. I know that that's not always true in V30, but I think it is kind of more likely than not that chest is going to be a small key when you get a big key in the first Firelock chest. So yeah, maybe Frostbite has been kind of studying up on the key logic, or maybe they just don't want to sit through the cutscene. But either way, it's kind of a smart move. It is kind of backed in logic. And meanwhile, GFE can be fighting Cold Stare, and as I recall, we have a game we like to play here on the Speed Gaming channels, right?
Oh yes. So, if you're a subscriber to any of the Speed Gaming channels, or you have donated 250 bits across any of the Speed Gaming channels, you can enter a big key guessing game. So, you enter a number between 1 and 22 for where you think the big key in Ganon's Tower may be. Going to be starting the game as soon as GFE picks up the crystal here.
Actually, get those guesses in pretty quickly here, because if GFE know their stuff, they're going to be kind of warping over to Ganon's Tower really quickly here. Yep, they're going to be taking this portal into Light World, saving quitting, and they're going to be just warping right over to Ganon's Tower. So getting in really quickly. Ocelot, what number do you like?
I always go for 19. Basically, I like to see runners go right side, then go left side, clear out Ice Armors, and get the big key in the vanilla chest.
I'm actually a fan of 19 too, and hey, GFE's already in GT.
Yep, so going to be stopping the game as soon as he's downstairs. So first item is 10 hours on the torch. So Bob lives today. Number 2, small key. Number 3, small key. Number 4, flute, entirely useless. Number 5, bombs.
Hey, we can play it on the way up the gauntlet if we want. Hooray, the value.
Number 6, 20 rupees. Number 7, 300 rupees. Yeah, we've got some Dark Magician routing going on here. Don't tend to see Dark Magician too often these days. It's always nice to see, even though anecdotally most of the time it doesn't pay off. Maybe it will this time. So, piece of heart. 20 rupees. 20 rupees. Green rupee.
Oh, and GFE continuing on the right side, go all the way to Ice Armos. Alright, alright.
Alright, Bob's chest coming up. Number 12.
Come on, Bob. Let's go. There we go.
Smoky. Meanwhile, it looks like Frostbite is heading back to Turtle Rock. He's pretty much out of options for it. I just saw him check out the Pyramid Fae, but I didn't see what he got in there. It looks like he has a few more heart containers now for us. So, red rupee, blue rupee, and piece of heart. So the big key was on the left side after all. Number 15, compass. And before going into Turtle Rock, Frostbite is actually checking out the Ether tablet. Oh, and now he's going into Tower of Hera. Ah, a butter sword.
Yeah, it always seems like one of those swords makes its way to GT some.
Few hundred rupees, and there's the big key.
Hey, 19. We were right, I think.
Right count, wrong location. And he checks out the other chest just for his head and gets a shovel, because why not?
Okay, so Frostbite is at least not going to be going back into Swamp Palace because they now know what the sixth item is, just some bombs. So, yeah, that's at least one saving grace for the sea.
So, got quite a few people at 2 wins on the guessing game leaderboard now. Illus24, the Chain Nerd, who is our winner today, the Fear Agent, and I believe yourself, RD Walsh.
I watch exactly enough Rando, no more, no less.
So down goes Boldon for Frostbite, and I see he picked up a mushroom somewhere. You know, it's just one of those things that could divert him further from Turtle Rock. But he is headed back in the right direction for Turtle Rock. And yeah, he is going for it. With a quick dip, stop by Mirror Cape first, of course. Nice quick kill of Lamolus there with the silver arrows for GFE, and I always like these rooms. If you know where to put your game blocks, you just one-shot all these rib ropes and make your way through without a care. Frostbite also doing the same Pegasus Boots clips there to get through the barrier and get into the rest of Turtle Rock a little bit quicker. So he knows his stuff, but unfortunately for Frostbite, he's just doing this way later than GFB did, so he's missed out on this Cane of Samaria and Go mode for a long time now.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be unfortunate, but that's kind of just the way random goes sometimes. You know, you make one call, you know, it might. You just make one call, and you know maybe it's the right call in some seeds, just wasn't the right call in this.
Yeah, it's pretty random whether it's going to be the right call or not. Because hey, it's Randomizer. It's random. I'd say the seed was very linear to begin with because all you could really do would be to kill blind and then you had to head up Agatha no matter what. And then after that it kind of like opened up significantly. Now Kane in Turtle Rock being the worst defender of it, but I guess that is really the nature of inverted. So, Aga 2, I think that was either single or double, I couldn't really tell. That one was definitely a single. I think that was 1122. I'm not entirely sure though. 2112 says chat.
Yeah, it did look like a couple doubles and a couple singles.
So GFE's pretty low on the health here. Ganon and Hug or 2 would be enough to kill him, but that's not going to really let Frostbite catch up at this point. He'd need a lot of Ganon Hugs and falls at this point for Frostbite to catch up, unfortunately. And as we've seen, GFE is a great Link to the Past runner, so I don't think he's going to have too much trouble here. Especially that gold sword to get through phase 1 and phase 2 super quickly. Oh, does get a loose fire bat. 2 loose fire bats, so breaks up the blue potion.
Yeah, no, GFE's got this. They can even kill that fairy if they so choose in this moment.
It doesn't really kill the fairy, it just like revives Link, decides my task is done and flies off into the nether. But it's still alive somewhere. So if he doesn't bother for a Torch Glitch, but there's really no need for him because he's got half magic and silver arrows. So down goes Ganon for GFE. Now assuming he does the last hurdle of getting across the bridge safely, he is going to finish his place in first place. Alright, so with an official SRL time of 1 hour 44 minutes and 36 seconds, GFE 12 has finished in first place. Get your GG's in chat. So we're going to see if we can get GFE in here for an interview shortly, but before we do so, what were your thoughts on this seed, Walsh?
Yeah, this was a really interesting seed. I kind of thought, you know, a couple very interesting call that you had to make, like, you know, like the seed kind of hint on like when you went up to Death Mountain, like did you want to wait for that fire rod or so that you could full clear Turtle Rock, or did you want to like just kind of head up there before you had everything? But we can also ask one of our runners how they thought of the seed, because it looks like we have GFE here. Interview. What's up, GFE?
Yo, hey guys.
Yo, GG.
Yeah, thanks, man. I was honestly, when I got to GT, I was terrified my routing was going to make me lose, because that was the worst big key routing.
Yeah, the Dark Magician paying off in, well, not paying off at all, but I'd say that your like dedication to clearing out items 100% before moving on from airs is really what cleanses you to win here. We kind of saw that early on with the lamp. You got the lamp in Skullwoods way before Frostbite did. Frostbite like dived into Skullwoods a little bit, got the lamp, and then, well, didn't get the lamp and then ducked out and then got the lamp later, which didn't matter so much for him. But you ran into Turtle Rock. You got the Cane of Samaya on your first visit there, and Frostbite paid a little visit into Turtle Rock but didn't get the Cane of Samaya, and he's only just got it about 5 minutes ago on stream.
That hurts. Yeah, hammer on Laser Bridge and just left.
You know, as we were saying at the time, it's kind of like the inverse of finding the ice rod on Laser Bridge. You get the Cane of Samaya on at the top of Turtle Rock.
Yeah, I mean, that cane location, that I was not expecting that. Something, but I was not expecting to find that. I'm very happy that I'd gone ahead and cleared a lot of the overworld. My fire rod from Mini Moldorm Cave, so I could go ahead and finish.
And aside from that, I think the early game was really rough on you, having to do like 3 heart blind and 4 heart Agata, and you only had 4 hearts because you did a hammer jump to get a few extra pieces of heart in Powers of Darkness. So what did you think of that?
That, honestly, that early game was terrifying. It's before I started this, that I hoped my execution was better than my 2 practice rounds, because in my practice rounds, my execution was way off. Having to do all that at 3 hearts, and I think in the whole seed, I only had 1 death, and it didn't even matter. It was in the middle of Skull Woods. I was going to get the magic pot, but I died first. So my execution was... But yeah, that early game was rude. I was glad that I had gone up to Super Bunny Cave before doing Thieves Town potion early on, because I knew I could finish blind safely that way.
Yeah, Frostbite actually got the Cane of Burner from Super Bunny Cave and did the blind with the blue potion that way, just using potion to top up his magic instead of his health like you did.
Oh,
I think that was GFE. Yeah, Frost had so.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, getting it out backwards.
That's all right.
It is
you
inverted
mentioned that
weak.
hammer jump in pod. I had 2 hearts. I was like, may as well try this, and just was great. I didn't realize that that's the only reason I had a 4th heart.
It's like your first 3 extra heart contains all pieces of hearts, and none of you found any heart contains for ages and ages.
Oh yeah, the health in that seed, I mean, that was even rude for a normal inverted seed. And at least they didn't make us go into Ice Palace early or something, but it was still a pretty rude seed. Putting you in book mode, you don't want to be in book mode. That's the worst item to have to look for in inverted.
Luckily, you got the hint on your way through Eastern Pass, which was a mandatory crystal dungeon anyway. And I feel like Inverted has a real habit of forcing like really limited loadout blind and Aga Tower. So had you practiced that a lot in anticipation of it happening?
I've practiced blind a lot. Saga Tower. I just try to be careful if I have to do it with low health. But I'm pretty decent with hammer blind, and swords not usually an issue. Samaria is the one I struggle with the most. Practice blind a lot before inverted seeds like this.
I actually liked seeing both of you try out the ice rod in Aga Tower and it not working on the guards at all. It's not something I've ever tried myself, but I don't think you guys had ever tried it either. But hey, gotta try it once, right?
Yeah, I should have known that about the ball and chain guard, but I didn't know that it guards. So I was a learning experience for me.
Yeah, it works on the blue guards in the tower, but not the red guards or the gold guards.
Yeah, I'll have to keep that in mind for the future. I just like using frozen guard strats. At least I got to use it in Escape, which I was glad I sequence broke Escape early and got that hook shot.
Yeah, both of your early game routing was pretty much the exact same thing. So you and Frostbite kind of went things slightly different directions to begin with initially, but you mostly converged on the mountain and into a tower very close to each other. And both of you did the same thing, sequence broke into the front of Escape and got the hook shot. But it's really that Kane of Samaria play that really put you ahead there.
Sometimes it takes a little luck to win these things. Frostbite just felt rando hard today, I guess.
Rando gonna rando. So Frostbite's making his way through Ganon's tower on stream now. He's taking the left side immediately, so he's going to get his big key fairly shortly here in the Rando room. But other than that, so do you have any final thoughts on how this seed went? And
You know, it was a good seed. It feels great in the league to take a win for your team. I mean, honestly, having a lot of fun with this league play. I know P Train's got a match tomorrow night against Jet, so good luck to him. And Sabo Tinder is sitting out for us this week, but he got a win for us a few days back. So honestly, everything's going well for our team. I know that the team I was playing tonight, Jet and Megawatt, they're all really good. So it's going to be interesting to see how the season goes forward. Thank you guys. Thank you guys for commentating this, and thanks to our tracker or Arterial, however you pronounce that, man. Sorry. And thanks to chat for coming out to watch this.
And thank you too for posing on a great race.
Hey, thanks, man. Thanks a lot. I'll just catch the end of this and let y'all focus on Frostbite.
Yeah, GG again, man. Thanks for the run.
So Frostbite's wasting no time in the gauntlet here, just zapping through the Stalfos with a fire rod. He's getting a little low on health, but he's got a fairy backup and a person backup, so he's gonna be okay getting through here.
Yeah, plus he has the red mail and half magic, so really utilizing those resources intelligently so far. Yeah, really solid gauntlet for him.
Yeah, the red mail was on the Bombos tablet. Just one of the extra checks he was starting to do because he didn't find that Cane of Samaria.
Yeah, obviously he'd prefer to have had the Cane of Samaria a little bit earlier, but, you know, if you have the resources, you use. even using the fire shield to block that beam. That look at that.
Getting a little low on health here, taking the fall to get back to the beginning of the room quick. So he's got the fair in a person backup, so he's going to be fine anyway. No powder for getting the anti-phase in the next room. Oh. Did pick up that mushroom somewhere, but no powder. Ooh, takes a fall to Modom 2.
Yeah, it looked like that was just the game denying him that, he was, he's doing the right thing going for the dash, but just kind of barely clipped the edge of Moldorm.
So let's see if that was just a single for Frostbite. So let's see if he has a bit more luck with Aga 2 here. Another single. Ooh, no hits. One more single. That one was a double. He's down to his last half, but he's got a fairy, so he'll be fine. He's not going to die here. But one more hit finishes off Aga 2. And Frostbite doesn't want to waste any time of using the fairy here, just dips into his blue potion immediately before heading into Ganon. Taking a couple of hits from the fire bats there, but Frostbite's on red mail, so it's only doing 2 hearts of damage to him, and he's got plenty of life to spare, so he's okay.
Yeah, he's good. He's halfway through phase 3. It should be pretty easy for him.
Nice double hit there. One more will finish off Ganon. And down he goes. So once again, Frostbite just has to make it across the bridge here, and he will be finishing this race. Unfortunately for him, in second place. Just a Kane or Samaya putting him in behind. Alright, with an official time of 2 hours, 0 minutes and 43 seconds, Frostbite3030 has finished in second place. So get your GGs in chat for Frostbite. We'll see if we can grab him for an interview as well. I imagine he's got plenty to say about this seed. So, typical inverted makes you do really early game plays to do limited hearts, blind and agate tower, and then just kind of opens up from there. But that just has some items in really obscure locations to put you behind.
Yeah, indeed. Like, something I've actually heard it like compared to a little bit is inverted is kind of like a seed with just like a really more demanding start than the typical standard seed, just because like it does, 90% of inverted seeds would to Thieves Town early. Some of them push you into Ice Palace early, but yeah, it's very linear for the first, third, and then like once everything explodes, you just gotta hope that you don't get too off.
I should be grabbing Frostbite fairly shortly in here. Right, we've got him waiting in Discord, so he'll be with us in a moment's time. Alright, GG Frostbite.
Thank you, Ocelot. You have to say that, I guess. Awesome job, GFE. GG on the win.
Hey, man, GG. Sorry I had to end like that for you.
If you're gonna lose, at least make sure it's by a totally self-inflicted wound that would have totally flipped the race. I think if I hadn't skipped Candace Maria in Turtle Rock really early in the game, but I made the choice, and it is what it is. So, no, awesome job. It was a horrible seed, wasn't it? I remember looking at my timer at like 31 minutes, and I still had 3 hearts and green mail, and like nothing. I had a sword and ice rod. I used ice rod more in this seed than I used it in the previous 6 months of playing Rando. This was just trash at the start.
Yeah, they said we both learned that Ice Rod doesn't work on things in Agate Tower like we thought it did.
Well, I knew that some of the things it wouldn't work on or not. Like I was kind of testing the waters, if you know what I mean. Like who the heck uses Ice Rod, right? So like, no, I mean, but I don't know. It was a pretty fun seed, but no, man, I just did some looking at my VOD in the time here. So like, I figure I would have got the Canis Mari about 106, or sorry, I would have been in go mode about 106 if I hadn't skipped the Canis Mari, and I ended up in go mode at like 143 or something like that. So it was like a half-hour skip. And these people say they skipped a half hour. I think you could legitimately say that skip cost me a half hour. I would have go-moded 5 dungeons. I would have go-moded Swamp Palace. I wouldn't have checked anything from Lost Woods to Zora. I certainly wouldn't have gone into Misery Mire without the Cane of Samaria. I would have go-moded Palace of Darkness. I would have go-moded Eastern Palace. It was just a colossal skip that absolutely changed the direction of the race, because I have to believe I had the hammer first. Even though I might have not got into the Dark World first, I got it very quickly, I felt like.
Yeah, you definitely had the hammer first. You went to DM while GFE went to South Shore.
Yeah. Did he have the hook shot? Because iSequence broke the hook shot, so I was thinking about going back up to Death Mountain the whole time.
Yeah, I got the hook shot right after finishing Aga.
Yeah.
And kind of bad, because I wanted to go up Death Mountain, but I wanted to do all those overworld checks. And in a way, I'm glad I did. I got my boots and I got my fire rod so I could finish T-Rock while I was up there. So that was a bonus at least.
Yeah, I skipped the fire rod because I had the boots though, because I went from, like, I started in the village and then went down to the desert mire area, because I always want to, in Inverted, I always want to know what the mire medallion is, because it's really the only one you need. And I also like to check Checkerboard and Agena early, because a lot of people don't check them early. So I was down there fairly early, but I save quit from maybe even from Agena after I found the boost and went right up to Death Mountain, and I skipped the fire rod. So when I got the hammer, I could have easily just gone back out, ran around, and got Cane of Samaria, and I couldn't have completed Turtle Rock. But I mean, I was literally booked from Go Mode if I hadn't had it within the next 5 minutes, because I went right back to South Shore, because Mini Moldorm Cave is apparently the new hype cave, because that was insane. You got, what, Fire Rod, something else, and then there's a sword sitting right there on the island. And when I remember save quitting and thinking about Ice Palace, like, I was quite worried. I had no safety, so I went and bought some potions. Then I had Master Sword, and I had no Fire Rod. And then, like, within the next 30 seconds, I had an armor upgrade, I think, and the Tempered Sword and the Fire Rod. And it was funny, but no, it was a fun seed. I would have liked a little more safety earlier. My execution was not great. I definitely botched the bomb jump in Palace of Darkness, and as I said in the chat to JFE, I'm not exactly sure how major glitches work, but I'm definitely sure that one of the ways you activate exploration glitches by saving and quitting and when you're falling, and I don't know what the specifics are of that, so I always had that in the back of my mind, because I absolutely did that in Pod, because I was really sort of angry because I fell off the thing and I didn't have enough health to try and attempt the hammer yelp. So yeah, I was sort of a little bit irritated from the start. But no, once I got that hook shot, I was thinking about going to Death Mountain the whole time, because I figure there's a really good chance with that low health you're probably going to just do the bunny glitch into Hyrule Castle anyways. But if not, it's somewhere to give a huge advantage. And when I was going through South Shore, I thought about going into Swamp right away, and in the end it would have saved me time, but it was sort of inconsequential at that point. The race was already sealed. Once I left Turtle Rock, it was done. I could have just stopped playing right then.
Still, the early part of this race, going through both doing a Crystal Blind, which wasn't strictly necessary to begin with, but and then going up Aga Tower on such limited HUDs. Both of you showed great execution in doing that. It's literally just came down to, I believe, just that one Cane of Samaria check in Turtle Rock.
Yeah, I think GFE and we know each other quite well, and we've raced a lot, and we do voice races and stuff, and we're pretty comparable. I think I probably had the inverted edge because I played a bit more of it, but he'd probably legitimately a little bit maybe better than me, but definitely a very equal race. And
I don't know that I would say that about me being better, man.
Yeah, whatever. We all downplay our own skills. That's how we do in this community, right? So, but we're really equal opponents. So I was I knew it was going to be close, and you know the inverted stuff, like, basically, if you can't do like a 3-heart blind, and I botched it horribly. Like, I don't even know if I got the 3rd hit in the right sequence, and like, it just you basically, I've learned to pause buffer, because if it's not sword and you're stuck there doing something else, it can be a really, really challenging fight. But with I think the small key was in the front of Thieves Town, if I'm not mistaken. I checked it like 2.5 hours ago, so it's hard to remember. But I'm always thinking about inverted. That means that blind's in play, and there's stuff after blind, because once you get that small key, then everything becomes in logic, whether or not you have the hammer or not, because that means the small key is not locked in the big chest. And so I think you basically had to kill blind at that point. And did we both basically last location? Oh, GFE said he sequence broke them out at the start, but no, it was a really rude seed. Like even like, so I had limited money, and I knew I wanted to buy a blue potion, and I knew I wanted to go to pod, which meant I need like what 270 rupees or some such thing like that. And so I did the arrow game 3 times. I missed my last shot, which left me short, and I was like, oh, okay, no matter. I'll just go to the dig game, and I'll make that money up. I think it was like a 30 dig, and I got like 6 rupees in the whole dig. So then I had to go back to the stupid arrow game to get more rupees so I could buy the potion. And then, I'm in pod, and I'm thinking, do I do the bottle glitch? Do I not do the bottle glitch? I mean, I have so low health. I'd really like to save this potion for when I go back and fight blind. So it was actually a pretty rude early opening seed. The sword was nice, but like I had 3 hearts until well after Aga, and so like it was nonsense then. But after that, it was just like it was quite free after that, frankly. If you went to Turtle Rock, because everything else was in the way in the light overworld, I think, basically, other than book, and there was a hint for book.
Early on in the race, I think GFE actually popped into the arrow game for 3 sessions farming cash. So
yeah,
it's kind of like the integral thing in early inverted, just farming that arrow game for lots and lots of the cash.
Yeah, I definitely played it 4 different times. 3 times my first trip in, and 1 time my second trip in. So.
Oh man, are you serious? I did the exact same thing. Same thing.
Yeah, it was so stingy at the beginning, and yeah, like even like the Agate Tower thing, like sometimes when I go up Death Mountain, I won't even check Super Bunny Cave, because we were talking about this earlier too, GFE. I got roasted by the Lionels because they didn't step back. They stood up at the front, and it confused me, and I got killed my first time going through. But it never seems there's anything there unless you don't have a sword. Then the sword's there, and you have to do Aga, because every seed in inverted is Aga seed. And I mean, I kind of laughed when I got the blue cane, because first of all, I was irritated I didn't have it for the blind fight, because I thought about sequence breaking it, but as I mentioned, the EG thing, I went to Thieves Town instead of going up DM, and then it just helped me in the I used it about 3 or 4 times in the Agate Tower climb to just bypass enemies that get in the way in like the dark maze and places like that. But it was just kind of a rude. Oh, here, we'll give you half magic, but the only thing we'll give you is the ice rod and the blue cane. Have fun. Go in the dark world.
Yeah, it was funny when that half magic dropped, because like I said, I killed blind with the blue cane, because that's all I had, and then boom, half magic drops. So.
Nice. So good. But yeah, those boots in Agina, what a troll. And then Hammer and Kane, it both in Turtle Rock. Like, it's just so mean.
Only an inverted.
Yeah, exactly. But no, it was super fun seed, and it was like I'm always worried when I start an inverted seed, especially if I'm going to be on restream. Like, okay, is this going to be one that I'm going to actually be able to finish? Because there have definitely been ones where it's like, all right, okay, now you got to go do 3 heart fighter sword Mothula, and I'm just not doing that, and so I'll forfeit. And I just really didn't want that to happen tonight. But it was tough early, but fun, and yeah, and GG couldn't lose to a better guy. I mean, obviously I wanted to win, and hopefully Jet can get redemption for me tomorrow against P-Train at 9 p.m. And yeah, we'll go from there. But no, the league's been super fun, and yeah, wish I won this one, but awesome job, GFE.
Hey man, appreciate it, and good luck to you going forward, but I'm afraid my man P-Train's gonna have to take the game tomorrow, so...
It is what
good luck, P-Train.
It'll be a hover seed, that's how this luck's going, man. You just think how many of these league matches have been totally... I mean, I'm not saying I necessarily would have won if I found the Cane of Smart there, but I honestly think I would have finished at like 132 to 135 or something like that had I not skipped it. And how many of these seeds have been thrown on their head by skipping one location? You can think of poor Goomba skipping the Fire Rod. I skipped the cane here. Poor Fear Agent skipped the boots in the back of Skull Woods in his match. Like, it's just been so many. The Dracarius and Hitzion both skipping the bow on the left side of Swamp in their match. Like, it's just been crazy how many times there's been items skipped that are just like the 1 or 2 spots, because I was pretty thorough through the rest of my clearing, basically noping out of out of TR was the only sort of gamble I made. And I guess leaving one item in left side swamp late in the game, but I played it pretty safe, and the one spot I skipped just absolutely murdered.
You got randoed, and like you said, there's been a lot of that in this league so far, and I'm sure it won't stop there. So.
Nope. Exactly. I just happened to be the poor victim today, but no, I felt I played okay. Other than that, I didn't. Yeah, like I said, I think I had a couple deaths early. I had one in Skull Woods that was just very dumb, and I mucked up the hammering up thing, and that was annoying. But other than that, I didn't really have any other unintentional deaths, and yeah, it was a super fun seed though.
Speaking of getting randoed, next week is actually co-op open all dungeons, so
Yeah.
you've got somebody else to get randoed with there too, and hopefully help you prevent getting randoed. Actually, are you looking forward to that?
I definitely am.
Yeah, I'm actually playing both matches next week. The other two guys are gonna play one each, but I've got both those matches, so I'm looking forward to it.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, I'm gonna play one of them along with Megawatt, and then Megawatt and Jet are gonna play the other one. So, but yeah, we've been doing some practice seeds. Some of them go well, some of them not so well. But no, it's an interesting dynamic, the co-op, because you're always sort of weighing the, do you explore more versus do you get the things you know where they are that you have to get to advance the game, and it's actually sort of more different than a regular run than I initially anticipated, having not played a whole heck of a lot of co-op before the league was started. So.
Oh, looking forward to seeing you guys next week. Now, in terms of the rest of the league that's happening right now, at the moment on Speed Gaming 2, we're halfway through a game between Linklot777 and Fury Aim. They are halfway through right now, so you may want to check out the VOD from the beginning. And tomorrow, as you guys mentioned, you've got another match between your two teams, P-Train representing Sphere Affinity and Jet representing Finjana Drifters. That's at 9 o'clock Eastern tomorrow. We've also got Old Swagger Jackson and Missing Bow with Magnificent and Linden Lind representing those at 6 o'clock. And at 3 o'clock, Swagalicious of Russian Nintendo Swag and Hitsuran of Team Awesome at also versus against each other. So lots more league happening. So do make sure to check those out. Anyway, I think we're about ready to wrap up things here. So any final thoughts from you guys or Walsh?
I think that interview pretty well covered it. Just want to say GG to GFE and Frostbite again, and thank you for the co-commentary. That was a very interesting race.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Sorry, I'd just like to offer my thanks as well to you guys for calling us, and to Arturil for doing the tracking for the race. And yeah, I know these things are coming up pretty short notice, and it's awesome that so many of them are getting done. And maybe that I've ran all these races, maybe I'll put my name out to help Common and track some of them moving forward to keep them on the stream. So GG's and thanks again.
GG's to you guys. Catch y'all next time.
Thank you guys for the excellent race, and I wish you and our viewers a good night.